Well, ladies and gentlemen, the holy moleys. Yes, you've heard the news and you heard it right. Getting Around is the latest blog from Jagex, and I'm going to be putting out another video or two specifically about the holy moleys and other various information you're going to want to know about the future of these items and the market and where it's going. But we finally did it. We've got it. I told you to invest. Wade Green fucking said so. A lot of you guys mocked me for it, but here we are. Now, this blog in general is about making the game easier for players. It's a poll blog, I think, so we'll focus on the blog for the most part here. But we'll go through and see what Jagex has, and of course, up first, they're beautiful. For years, people have been asking for these, and they are finally in. And people who've actually been stacking up, a lot of people recently were like, oh, I've got 100 pairs of mole slippers, and they're not doing anything. What the fuck? 200k last week mole slippers worth. Look at them now. Where are they on the GE? Let's have a look. This is nuts. We're going to go through this in deeper detail, but they're 700k now. 0 GP. 730k at the moment. Up from 200k, and this is overnight. Will they go even higher? I don't know. Let's have a look. What's going to happen? How this is going to work? They're going to combine holy sandals and mole slippers to create the holy moleys. Now, this is step one. Personally, trying to get Jagex to do the holy moleys. I want to get to the best in slot food called the holy guacamoles, which is basically mole slippers but a taco. You keep the slippers, you just fill them with taco food, and it's like a 50 HP overheal or some shit. I don't know. There's work there. It'll be great. We're going to get to the holy guacamoles eventually, so don't worry. But we'll start with the holy moleys for now. Holy sandals make the holy moleys. It would be untradeable and fully reversible. So there's a 0 issue expense there. They would retain all the holy sandals, existing properties, which means you get a +3 prayer bonus and 31 prayer requirement, and it counts as Saradomin item. That's really all it is. It's a +3 prayer bonus on your feet, actually kind of based for the Inferno for learners, because you want good prayer bonus when you learn in the Inferno more than you want your range boots. Even though the areola boots are pretty decent, I guarantee you, a lot of people use holy sandals, right? Or the, what are they called? The devout boots. Now you can just use the holy moleys and do it in fucking style, like your boy. So the devout boots would not be compatible. Holy moleys could be dismantled at any time, returning both original items so they can be traded again. And if you die in PvP while wearing the holy moleys, they would split back to holy sandals and mole slippers and be dropped accordingly. Awesome. Echo boots? Holy moleys, dude. Come on, fat boy. Gotta get the holies. If this passes, combining holy sandals and mole slippers may involve a visit to Wyson, the gardener in Falador Park, who'll do what he does best, get mildly confused about moles, then agree to combine them for you. That sounds easy. I'm voting yes to that. Next, we have the absolutely slaying, the hooded Slayer helmet. If you've reached 99 Slayer, you've earned the right to show it off. You know what, Jagex? What you could have done, this is just a hot take, guys. Jagex could have just not polled all of these changes so far and just released them as the first update this year, and boom, we're sorted. Done. Instead, they did a small patch on sailing. Now, is that the only Slayer helmet that's going to be hooded? Oh, it's the Slayer... Hold on. If you've reached 99 Slayer, you've earned the right to show it off. Oh, I see. Okay. The moment you put your Slayer helmet back on, your Slayer skill cape hood gets benched. And suddenly that post-99 tutorial skip doesn't hit the same. We think true Slayer Masters shouldn't have to choose between looking good and being effective, so we're proposing a new cosmetic unlock, the hooded Slayer helmet. Players with 99 Slayer could spend 1,000 Slayer points at the Slayer Master to unlock the ability Absolutely Slaying. Okay. Once unlocked, you'll have the ability to combine your Slayer skill cape hood with any Slayer helmet, including Imbue Drones. Okay, that's kind of cool. The new version would proudly display your mastery of the skill while functioning exactly like your Slayer helmet. Okay. So it's just cosmetic, no stats, no effects. The hooded version will use the base Slayer helmet appearance. Existing Slayer helmet recolors won't be compatible. Ah, that sucks. The hooded helmet can be dismantled at any time. See, that kind of sucks. If you could have any kind of Slayer helmet underneath, that would be sick. It's not a bad combo because it does go with the Blood Torva. But it would be kind of cool to have. Even like the Jad or the Zuck helmet with the hood would be kind of sick. That would be better. Hopefully they can do that in the future. Have different... just the hood as an attachment or whatever, you know? An attaching cosmetic, so you can have any helmet under there. I'll vote yes to it though, it's fine. People want it. I don't really care for that. I won't be spending 1,000 fucking Slayer points. No way. Now, they want to do the getting around girl or poll changes. So these are the changes that we will be polling. And this is to add new teleports to the portal nexus. So the fact that this is being polled, in my opinion, is dumb as shit. Because why isn't every teleport on the portal nexus? Is there a reason for that? Is there a reason they don't have every fucking teleport available on the teleport player and house nexus? What? I don't know. Bit weird. But they want to add Trollheim, Padua, Lazar, Dariak, Oriana, Barbarian, Khazad, Ice Plateau, Respawn, and Teleport to Boat. Standard fucking teleports. Vote no because it's funny. Yeah, I mean, if you, to be honest, voting no here would be funny because it should just be automatic, but sure. Partially charged teleport crystals. So I think what we got here is teleport crystals are incredibly handy. Managing them can be more awkward than they need to be. Currently, if a crystal still has even a single charge left, Illuminate won't recharge it. You have to fully drain it first, which often means carrying around half-used crystals or deliberately wasting charges to tidy things up. True. So with this change, players will be able to recharge teleport crystals regardless of how many charges they have. And crystals will recharge up to 3 charges by default or 5 charges if you completed the Western Province's hard diary. Very good. I just had the Eternal Crystal teleport because it's as soon as you can get it, you should go get it. You know, fuck messing around with the normal teleport crystals. But yeah, that's fine. I get that. Faster agility shortcuts between extra clicks, long animations, and awkward pauses. Certain shortcuts can feel slower than simply walking. Want to make sure shortcuts feel like shortcuts? That sounds good to you. We're proposing the following changes. Stepping stone shortcuts will require just a single click to cross. Animations would be shortened so you spend less time watching your character shuffle about. Unnecessary delays will be removed, meaning you won't be left standing around before crossing. These changes would apply to a range of existing shortcuts. Drainer to Port Sarum Tunnel. Where's the Falador Crumbled Wall? Oh, that's going to Tavli. Okay, rocks northwest of Corsair Cove. Cafe Queen entrance. Okay. Falador Fence Jump. I don't know that one. The Dwarven Mine Crevice. I thought they already did the Alchemical Hydra shortcut. Didn't they already speed that one up? Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong. So, yeah, of course, faster shortcuts actually makes fucking sense. I'm glad we're polling that rather than just doing it. The Quetzal Whistle improvements. I'll be voting yes to that. Currently activating the Quetzal Whistle always sends you to Renu first before asking where you actually want to go. This works, but it adds an extra step every time. So they want to cut that out, and using a charged Quetzal Whistle would open the Quetzal transport interface. You could select your destination directly. They'll have a last destination spot, and players could toggle whether the whistle sends them straight to the Hunter Guild. Or okay, I'm fine with that. That's cool. Yeah, that's kind of big actually. I fuck with that. And the lost whistles. Creating a perfected whistle is no small task. Even after earning yourself a blueprint, there are multiple upgrade steps involved before you can have the completed item. Right now, if you lose the whistle, the entire process has to be repeated from scratch. We'd like to propose that players who have already obtained the perfect whistle blueprint and who do not currently have a perfected whistle in their inventory, bank, or item storage should be able to reclaim the whistle from the Hunter Guild. So, does that mean you have to make one first? This change would ensure the blueprint still has to be earned as intended, but removes the frustration of having to re-grind upgrades. So, does this mean, yeah, you technically don't even have to make it? If once you get the blueprint, you just talk to the cunt and you'll get one. Yeah, whatever, sure. River Dognu, canoe stations. Canoes are one of old school's earliest transport systems and very nostalgic one. Right now, they only cover a short stretch of river. We're proposing a new canoe route, adding 5 new stations to better connect key locations across Kandrin while keeping the system rooted to its original design. I mean, that'd be baller as hell for fresh accounts, but then again, you're probably not going to have the level to use it for Waterfall Quest. Proposing a new one. This would be separate from the existing River Lum canoe network. You would not be able to canoe between River Dognu and River Lum. I mean, it just makes sense to have, but it doesn't really need to exist. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I fuck with it. Sure. Since obviously your boat can't fucking fit in there, why not? It's nice to have, sure. It links up with Ring of Dueling and Balloon Network and should be handy for clue scrolls. Close to the farming patch and spirit tree. Provides easier access to Ardugni. Improves travel to the fishing guild. Yeah, I mean, this is super low level Ironman friendly content. Totally fine. Yeah. Should have selling requirements. Nah, these are just wood cutting usually because you're just paddling. People was asking for 10 years ago. Yeah, but when teleports weren't so convenient. Nah, okay, sure. Spirit tree level progression. At the moment, you get a spirit tree at 83, a second at 91, and then you jump straight to unlimited trees at 99. That's a leap from 2 to unlimited. Is a big one, especially when there only used to be like 4 trees. Now there's like 8, right? So now they want to do it. So level 83 is 1, 88 is 2, 93 is 3, 96 is 4. I don't think I've only ever planted 2 spirit trees, and I've been 99 for ages, but that's fine. The garden pie would still let you plant at lower levels. This makes total sense, yeah. There's more trees now than there used to be as well, so why not? Voting no to this 99 farming is free. Yeah, but the result is kind of the same, right? The only buff here really is that you get 2 at a lower level, right? More or less. I guess you get these 2 here as well, but I got my care package. Oh, no worries, Chazzy. Congratulations. Hope you enjoy it, my man. Sorry it was late. Should the level requirement for planting multiple spirit trees be rebalanced? I'll vote yes to that, sure. Tradable trouble brewing rum teleports. I don't know what any of these are. If you want to use the rums as a teleport to the trouble brewing minigame, you have to earn them yourself. That's fine if you're already playing the minigame, but it adds an extra hurdle if you just want to jump in for a first session. No, it doesn't. You've got a minigame teleport here to trouble brewing. I'll do it right fucking now. Watch. Watch. Easy. Many complaints is the retarded stickers I'm going to put on my car. Hey man, you put them on the car. If not, put them on someone else's. They were professionally handmade for you. So the proposal, if it passes, both the red and blue rum will become tradable, meaning players could buy them from each other at the Grand Exchange, or players who regularly play Trouble Brewing could sell them. So it makes Trouble Brewing a little bit more profitable. Okay. Quest progression would still apply. Overall, this should make it easier to start playing Trouble Brewing without the prep work, or provide a handy route to Mostly Harmless, while also giving dedicated minigame enjoyers a way to turn excess rum into a tidy profit. I mean, does that feel necessary? I just teleported here. I don't think you need to go here first. You just have to finish the quest. Red or blue rum near, you have to choose. Like every 20 minutes you can do that. That's a game anyway. I mean, on one hand, it means that Trouble Brewing becomes slightly more profitable, which means more people may do it. So vote yes because it's not really hurting anyone. But if we vote no, then Trouble Brewing experts can sit the fuck down. So for the sake of griefing, I'm voting no to number 10. Revenant Caves teleport changes. We're looking to make traveling to the Revenant Caves a little more flexible without changing how the teleport behaves by default. Excuse me. Oh, crashed into my cans, sorry. My bad. With this change, using a Revenant Cave teleport will allow you to teleport to any of the cave entrances, giving you quicker access to the area. That's really good, especially for stream sniping. This should be particularly welcome for players who prefer to play a bit safer and start at the southern end of the cave. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I like that. Rev caves to any entrance rather than just deep rev. Cool. By default, nothing changes. Left click the teleport would still take you to the northern entrance just as it would. Configure option would be added to the scroll. With this, you'll be able to manually choose a preferred entrance or set it to send you to the last used entrance. That's fine. That's good. Yes. Because even like trying to get to the south entrance, you get sniped by fucking bots and clans and rats. It's okay if it's someone like genuinely PKing or PvPing, but when people are being malicious and they're cheat clienting or they're setting up fucking lures to multi, it's this completely ruins their fun by being able to camp outside the Frox Enclave. Now they have to camp outside the cave entrance, which is a little more risky and less convenient. So. This kind of fingers scouts a little bit in the wilderness. I think that's a big dub. Now they'll do some unpolled changes. Right, so these are the polled ones. What are these unpolled changes? These are non-negotiables. Fairy ring favorites. Fairy rings are one of the most widely used transport systems. Using them effectively often involves a few more clicks. At the moment, even if you've favorited destinations in the fairy rings, still need to click it and whatnot. So we'd like to make this a bit more convenient. With this change, fairy rings would gain new favorites right-click option for players who have at least one destination marked as a favorite. Hovering over the option would display the sub-menu. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's big. Awesome change. So basically, it's kind of like, let me show you real quick. Fairy rings are now going to have, see if you go Amulet of Glory, you right click and you go rub and it shows this menu here. That'll be on your fairy rings. So if you put them in your favorites, you right click fairy ring, favorites, and it will just have, you don't have to open the menu, the screen anymore. It's just right click, select, and you'll teleport away. That's actually fucking sick. And then with Runelight, you'll probably be able to shift left click or have it menu entry swapped as well, which is big. The grouping teleport spell. Navigating to minigames in old school can be tricky. Currently, the teleport option is buried under chat channel, group tab, minigame teleport. This can be confusing, particularly for newer players returning who aren't sure what's available. To make this clearer, we're adding a dedicated grouping teleport spell designed to make minigame travel faster. Is that going to fuck with the spellbook order though? The new minigame teleport menu would be accessible from any spellbook with a single click. Only displays minigames, keeping the menu focused to clutter free. Clearly shows whether the teleport is available. So they're gonna propose the trouble brewing changes, and then also make trouble brewing easier to minigame teleport to as well. Very good. We'll also be adding teleport option for a small number of minigames. Bounty Hunter, Master of Mixology, cool. Sorcerer's Garden. Those are 3 very good additions. It's not final and subject to changes. Cool. If you're worried about this affecting your muscle memory, it's worth noting that spellbook reordering is already supported on third-party clients, so you can move the icon to the spot that works for you. So what Jagex is saying there, guys, that's a good one. Big from Jagex. Hey, if you got a problem, just use the client that we haven't made or developed yet. If you're on mobile or using the normal Jagex client, suck a dick. Third-party client, RuneLight. That's what Jagex is saying. Basically, yeah, don't be a bitch, but also use the client we didn't make. I'm glad that they are resorting to... I remember them saying recently, especially with sailing, that they don't want to design content that requires RuneLight to fix it, because that is lazy and it's against the etiquette of the game, and that it should be just good from day one. But they're throwing it in there anyway. A fucking curveball. I love it. Straight up the fucking guts. Thanks for that, Jagex. Huge. I don't actually have a problem with that. It's just funny that they've said that. Jewelry and tab wilderness teleporting. Over the years, getting back to multi-combat fights in the wilderness has become faster and lower risk than ever. I think my YouTube stream just died. Is Kick alright? Kick's good, yeah? I think my tab just fucking died for a minute too. My apologies. I don't know why my capture card keeps flashing on and off. I need to buy a new one, I think. My apologies, boys. With modern teleports and gear setups, returning after a death can take very little time, and in some cases that shifted fights away from good strategy positioning and high-risk play towards an endurance race of who can re-enter the fastest in increasingly cheaper gear. When dying carries very little consequence, fights can start to drag out without a clear, satisfying outcome. Instead of decisive moments, multi-combat encounters between teams and clans can turn into long wars of attrition, where both sides repeatedly return, typically without risk, until one team eventually runs out of patience rather than resources. We want to address that while keeping the impact centered around situations where this behavior actually occurs. This is actually a big change. While Scold, if you attack another player in the wilderness in multi-combat area, you have a 2-minute timer. You won't be able to teleport back to wilderness locations using jewelry, spellbook teleports, or teleport tablets. Oh, that's big. This doesn't include the Frost Enclave. If you attack another player while Scold in a multi-combat area, the timer will reset back to 2 minutes. This restriction only applies when the timer is active and only specific circumstances described above. This is big, because this doesn't really affect our Callisto Masses much. The Callisto Masses we were doing and that we're bringing back, this isn't actually too bad there. But this is big for multi-clans that rot. Like, this is for rat multi-clans that we keep absolutely shitting on, by the way. Absolutely destroyed them. fucking, who was it? Rot, Infliction, Psych, and that other fucking Indian clan. We absolutely fucking bottled all of them. But they kept trying to come back in cheaper and cheaper gear. This stops them doing that, which makes it an even easier W for teams like us. That's big. You can still teleport out of the wilderness as normal, provided you aren't teleblocked. Players PvMing and choosing to fight back will not be affected. Big. Players not intending to engage in PvP will not be affected. Logging out and back in will not reset the timer. Nice. And teleporting the Frogs Enclave will not be restricted. This is big. This is against big malicious clans. I like this. Cooldown will not be shared across all teleport methods, including jewelry, spellbook teleports, and teleport tablets, so it can't be bypassed. Yeah, no, sweet. These are the non-polled changes. This one is not being polled. This is happening. While we're making this change, the aim is to make multi-combat wilderness fights healthier and more decisive. This means that people will actually start to bring risk or they'll fuck off. Teams that successfully outplay their opponents should be more likely to secure a win, and players taking on higher risk should feel that risk carries meaningful weight. By limiting rapid re-entry into ongoing fights, this change helps reward good preparation, positioning, and execution, rather than simply who can return for the longest period of time. This becomes more about who's got the bigger team at the start of the fight, rather than whose team has the best bank set up to quickly go bam, 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 go. You know? Instead, now it's just, if you've got 50 versus 20, it's not about how quickly that 20 can come back to beat the 50. It's going to be more about you're fucked in the 20 unless you've got a really well-organized and dedicated team with good callers. So this is big for our Callisto masses, 100%. As of our wilderness changes, we'll be watching how this plays out in practice and are open to adjusting. Sit the fuck down, right? You're all a bunch of losers anyway. Get absolutely fucked on. Last destination option on spirit trees. We're trimming a few clicks from the spirit tree to give you a last destination option. Selecting it will teleport you straight to the last location you traveled with the spirit tree. Makes perfect sense. It's shared across all trees. If you haven't traveled using the tree yet, you'll be told there's no destination. Cool. The option will be available to all spirit trees except those in player in houses. In-house spirit trees share menu space with fairy rings, and unfortunately there's no room to add to the list. Okay, cool. Lunar Return Orb. In a similar vein, we're making a small tweak to... What the fuck is the Lunar Return Orb? What is that? Never heard of it. Currently the orb opens a configuration dialog before teleporting you back to Relica. Huh? Is it... I'm on Lunar Isle. Where's the Lunar Return Orb? Lunar Isle Orb? Is that an item? Elite Diary in Lunar Isle. I've got the Elite Diary done. In the bank. Not bad. Okay. The safeguard can be helpful, but if you use the orb regularly, it often means one more click than necessary. No, just press number 1 on your fucking keyboard. With this change, players will be able to toggle whether the return... That's fine. Yeah, look, okay, I'm all for them tidying up the menus. Cool. Other unpolled changes. Fight pit improvements. No one uses the fight pit. One of old school's most nostalgic PvP activities. For a lot of us, they were chaotic, loud, and unforgettable. A place where alliances formed and fell apart in seconds. Over time, though, the game has changed. Gear has become stronger, players have become better, and the fight pits haven't really kept up. In some cases, the most optimal method to survive the later stages is simply by sitting in a corner, praying against rangers, waiting out the fog. While effective, it doesn't always make for the most exciting endgame. Add the mages. We think the fight pits should be more about who survives the chaos through the skill. We're proposing a set of changes that make the later stages of fight pits faster, more dangerous, and more dramatic. So rounds, this is completely irrelevant to me. So the proposed escalation would be that the bats start spawning after minute 5, blobs 3, 5, and rangers after 5.5 minutes. As the fight pushes into later stages, players would start facing the same iconic dangers you'd expect deep in the Tazar territory. Not just a wall of rangers, a pit would become increasingly hostile, making it much harder to sit safely in one spot. And yes, we know exactly which NPC that's sick. How many Jads could you take on? It's kind of dope. Mages would spawn after 7.5 minutes, Jads after 9.5, and Tazar gas after 11.5. Wow. The NPCs would roam and hunt more effectively, making it harder to hide. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, based, for sure. Improved pathfinding would prevent monsters getting stuck or losing interest, ensuring pressure stays high as the match progresses. To keep this escalation exciting rather than unfair, Jads would have their maximum hit capped at 50, just above 50, reducing the risk of being instantly KO'd. Sorry if my capture card keeps flicking off and on. I'll have to fix that in a minute. What does this change in practice? The early stages of a fight pit match would still give players time to settle in, reposition and size each other up. As the fight goes on, though, things would escalate quickly, more pressure, fewer safe concerns, and safe corners and harder decisions. Cool. These changes are about restoring what made the fight pits memorable in the first place. I mean, no one uses this shit other than for like small clan events, but I think that's a fucking sick change anyway. Pickpocketed runes and the rune pouch. When pickpocketing an NPC, it's common to end up with a steady trickle of runes filling up your inventory. Even if you're already carrying the rune pouch, we'd like to propose a small change so that runes obtained from pickpocketing are placed directly into your rune pouch, provided the space is already stored. That's fine. Totally, yeah, makes sense. Expanding the herb sack. If you ever finish Slayer, don't care. Okay, so they want to do a permanent upgrade to the herb sack that significantly increases its storage capacity, allowing players to extend trips and cut down unnecessary banking. This is fairly impactful, high quality of life upgrade. All right. They want you to store to 100 of each grimy herb, up from 30. New untradeable item, the pristine spider silk from Syrachnus. Using the silk on the standard herb sack would consume it. Then permanently upgrade it to a silk-lined herb sack. Fuck, that's an extra 70 of each herb. That's a lot. Okay, cool. Untradeable. Piece of content that many players move on from quickly. Adding a valuable long-term reward here gives the boss renewed purpose without making it upgradable. A mandatory upgrade. Sweet. I like it. It'll have distinct visual appearance, clearly setting it apart from the standard version. You can only have one herb sack at a time. An extra silk can be exchanged for grubby keys, so duplicate drops aren't wasted. Big. Grubby keys are huge. That's massive. The end result is straightforward. Larger herb sack that meaningfully improves long PVM trips, delivered as a permanent earnable upgrade. Huge. Alright, yeah, I fuck with that. Raid unique broadcast tweaks. This one's for Hacksaw. Finally, we're looking into a small improvement to how raid unique drops are broadcast. Previously, when a raid unique was broadcast, the message also included its grand exchange value. That extra bit of context helped put drops into perspective in the moment, whether you were the one getting the loot or watching it pop up in the clan. Would like to bring back these, I'll bring that back, sorry. So raid unique broadcast once again show the item's GP value alongside the drop. What? At the same time, we're looking to reduce some unnecessary noise by no longer broadcasting duplicate copies of the thread or the gems. What do you mean by GP? You mean like the AWST value? What? So, am I reading that right? They want to get rid of the grand exchange value next to an item when it drops, and the GP value is just that's its. That's the AWST value, right? Oh, it'll just say value. So if you get T-Bar, it's going to say you got 4 mil. Bro, who wants to go send fucking Cox and split a T-Bar? The game says it's 4 mil, boys. Here's your 2 mil split. I'm reading it wrong? Raid Unique broadcast once again showed the item's GP value alongside the drop. When a Raid Unique was broadcast, the message also included its grand exchange value. That extra bit of context helped put drops in. Oh, they're adding it in. They got to fix it. Wait, they're adding grand exchange. I thought it already did that. Does it not do that already? It'll say T-Bow 1 build GP, but it already... Does it not already show the value of the item when you get it? It used to, but it doesn't right now? Really? Are you sure? Uncut Onyx, Banner's Tassets, Vardavus, Dragon Cannon, Draconic Visage, O-Plate Shards. The Justice Shalex from earlier isn't here anymore. I could have sworn it does. Go pull a T-Bone and test it. Well, we've got a clip. Where's the clip? Let's I'll fucking pull this up. Where's the fucking clip of my T-Bow? The Bing Bong Billiam. I'll be dancing away. We're chugging. Oh, wow, it doesn't. It just says you got a T-bow. Shit, okay. My apologies. I didn't know that. Not even, okay, cool. No, I had no clue that happened. My bad. Sounds good. Okay, yeah, no, absolutely bring that back. I thought that was standard. My apologies. Big. I can't read. Wrapping it up, that brings us into the getting around poll. This poll leans heavily into quality of life changes with a mix of smaller convenience tweaks. I think this poll was fine. I like it. Before we close out, we also want to briefly touch on a couple of changes from poll 85 that we haven't made yet. Adding an empty option to shades of mort on coffins, no one cares. Improvements to container emptying in the bank, including better support for things like looting bags and other storage containers. Those aren't forgotten. Both changes are still in progress and involve some fairly hefty bank interface work behind the scenes. We want to ensure they land cleanly and consistently. Happy to hear that. That's great. It's worth setting expectations that not everything in the poll will arrive at once, which is every single poll. Assuming the poll passes, we're aiming for Holy Moleys and Hood to Stay Home to arrive later this month. Many of the broader getting around changes will follow throughout February with a handful larger, more complex updates. Awesome. As always, thanks for taking the time to read through the blog. Poll is expected to open Tuesday, January 13th. Be keeping an eye on the discussion. Cool. Do you see the League 6 trailer? No, we can have a look at that too. I'd like to see a League 6 trailer. Just a quick brief rundown. When the poll comes out, I'll be voting no on poll question 10, purely to troll Trouble Brewers. Otherwise, big poll overall. Thank you, Jagex. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.